I'm here with Sophia Russo, and Sophia is running the Moore Half Marathon this Sunday. And Sophia has an amazing story of tragedy and inspiration to tell us today.
Okay, it was about 2 years ago. It was June 4th, 2013. My mom was walking my 4-year-old daughter, Ariel, to preschool when they got hit by an unlicensed driver who was fleeing from a police chase. They were on the sidewalk and they kind of got crushed against a building. And my mom, she's still recovering from her injuries, but Ariel didn't make it because there was a delay with the ambulance and she lost too much blood, and she was only 4 years old, so it was just too much for her. So she died that day, and it was just unreal, just such a shock, such a hard time in my life, and I died inside. Like, when that happened, I completely changed. I checked out. I was like a shell of myself, and I had to find a way to keep on going. And because I had my son, he's going to be 5 now, but at the time he was 3, and he was depending on me to be strong and be there for him. So I started to run to help me deal with my anger and my sadness. I remember my dad always used to tell me, whenever you are really down and you feel like, you know, there's nothing you can do, run. He always said that to me. So I said, I'm gonna go to Central Park and I'm gonna run. It was hard because my daughter loved Central Park. She loved the park on 100th Street in Central Park West. That was her favorite park. So I went one day and I just walked to the reservoir and I started running around the reservoir. Running is really hard because you feel like you can't breathe, your body starts to ache, your legs, your arms. And for some reason, you're able to keep putting one foot in front of the other, even though you're feeling all of that pain. There's something inside of you that's allowing you to keep on going, and it's so like, I don't know what the word is. I guess it's kind of like perplexing. Like, how am I able to keep running even though I feel like I can't anymore? How are my legs still moving? How is one foot still going in front of the other foot? And you think about it, and then while you're running, you're like, how am I doing this? I'm so tired. This is so painful. And then I start to question, is it my physical, like, body? Is my body that strong? Like, am I in shape? No, not really. Is it my mind? Is my mind, you know, helping me do this? Is this a mental thing? But then after so many runs, because after the reservoir I started to run around Harlem Hill, and after Harlem Hill I started to run around the 6-mile Central Park loop. And after so many runs, I decided that it was my heart, and I was like, this is a matter of heart. Like, this is something that you have to have a really profound heart to do. You know, your heart, it keeps showing you that there are new limits. So with every run, I started to get a little faster. Like, when I started, I was running like 1 mile in 13 minutes. And now I can run 1 mile in 10 minutes. So, and I don't know how that happened, because like I feel like I run the same as the first day. But just little by little, you start to change and you start to become stronger. And so when I run, I think about my daughter, and it was really hard for me to think about her and talk about her. When everything first happened, I would try to push it out of my mind, because I felt like if I think about her and if I talk about her, I'm gonna break down and I'm gonna check out, of life. So running was really a place for me to think about her and remember things and think about conversations we had. And I remember in 2012, we were watching the New York City Marathon. And it was a thing that my mom always did. She'd get hot chocolate and bagels, and we'd sit and we'd watch and we'd cheer for them at home. And November of 2012, Ariel joined us. She was 3, and I remember she was in awe of the runners. She was saying, "Mommy, I want to run fast like that." And it was little things like that that I remembered during my runs. Or how she used to watch the CrossFit competitions with her dad on ESPN. And I realized my daughter was somebody who was inspired by like these athletic events. And me being a part of these things, I feel like I'm honoring her, I'm making her proud.
And you're keeping her alive.
Right, I'm keeping her alive.
Her spirit alive.
Right, and her, you know, when I feel like I'm hitting a wall or I'm going up that hill, I feel like she's cheering for me. Like I imagine her face, her voice cheering for me, and I can keep going. So that's my story.
By you telling this story, you know, you're inspiring so many other women and girls. I mean, look at you. To me, you're a girl. You know, you're a young girl. You're a mother of 2.
Yes, I had just had another baby, baby boy, James.
How old is he?
He's actually just turned 10 months.
But you're inspiring, you know, this next generation, these young women, you know, to go on and to continue. And, you know, my philosophy on death is that, you know, when we lose someone that's part of us and someone that's so close to us, it's our duty to keep their memory alive. You know, just because they're not here in our life every day physically, we can't see them, you know, their spirit is always with us. You know, and you know, do you feel that by doing the marathon, is it keeping her spirit alive?
Definitely feel like by running this marathon, it's keeping her spirit alive, because it's in Central Park, it's with other women, other girls, all walks of life, all of us learning about the new limits of our hearts, because a 13-mile race it's not easy, it's hard, it's like life, it's like going through life, it's not easy, it's hard, we have to keep on going. And when we look around and we see that we're all doing the same thing and we're all going through the same obstacle, we're inspired by each other. So I feel like she's going to be there with me, and she's going to be, when I cross the finish line, I feel like she's going to be waiting there.
Yeah. When people go through a difficult time and many withdraw, you seem to have done the opposite. What words of encouragement can you give other people to help them rewire that, you know, tragic event that's happened in their life?
I mean, when something tragic happens, the first thing that you do is kind of withdraw, break down, and there has to be a moment to feel that. But when you feel something tugging on you, saying, come back up, you have to hold on to that and pull yourself up. When you go through something so tragic and so shocking, you don't get back up. You're down and you're withdrawn and you're broken, and there needs to be a moment for that. You have to feel that, but you can't stay there. For me, I felt something tugging on me, like come back up, and I held on to it, and I just pulled up, and for me it was my son, and I also feel like it was my daughter. I had that little tiny voice inside of me saying, you have to get up, you have to eat something, you have to take a shower, you have to, you know, stop staring at the wall, you have to, you know, do something. You have to get up, and you have to put one foot in front of the other foot. That was like the first that was the first little thing I heard. And you could block that out, or you could hold on to it. Where is that coming from? You know, is that me? Is that my daughter? Is it my son? Like, it's all of that. And so you have to listen for that little voice inside of you after you've fallen down and you don't think you can get back up, and just hold on to it, follow it.
Do you think you'll run again next year?
Yes, I do. This has been really inspirational. I see the hashtag on Instagram, Women Run the World, and I see the other women who are running, and I see their pictures, and it's like a community of women who are going to come together and do something really difficult together, and it's really inspirational. So I will do it again next year.
Great. Thank you so much for being here, for sharing your story with us and letting us into your heart and into your life. And, you know, our intention is to reach as many women as we can, to empower them to move on and continue on their journey and turn their life around the way you did.
Thank you.
So thank you.
Thank you.